I said some Sundays ago here that many times we want to sell products and we want to communicate to our buyers in the way we understand, forgetting that it's never about you. It's never going to be about you. It's going to be about whoever it is that you are selling to. So you must care genuinely enough about the person you are selling to that you speak the language the person understands. You go to the market to buy stuff, and that's happened to me before. I remember that day I was going to cook, and then I went to the market to buy food stuff. And the woman was acting as if I was begging her to sell me stuff. But I was just patient. Like, okay, let me try buy and go. And in all honesty, I've never been to the woman's shop after that time because she gave the wrong attitude. I even went ahead to ask her, is something wrong? Are you okay and everything? She said, must I smile? Sorry. And I just bought and left. But she's not gotten to sell to me anymore, even though I still go to the same market. I don't go to her shop. Now, for instance, if I was going to introduce some other people to buying stuff from that market and probably from her, she most likely has lost all those people because of the wrong attitude. Because she was so... See, everybody goes through stuff. Everybody. Yours is not going to be an exception. Your own case will not be the special case that must be, So when you get to the point where you have to relate with people, leave behind you what you are going through and be concerned about what they are going through. Be concerned about them. Help them feel good. There are people who have been buying things from for many years, and I'll keep on buying things from them. Not because they have the best product, not because the products are the most affordable, but because of how they treat the customer, because of how they treat me. That's just it. So we have to pay attention, close attention to how we treat our people, our customers. And it boils down to, do you love this person? Do you love human beings? When you love human beings genuinely, when you actually do love people, it tells from how you talk to them, how you relate to them. Love should be at the root of everything you do, including selling. Because at the base of your business, for instance, you realize that it's relationships, the relationships you have with people. The relationships you have with people. The biggest sales you would have in your business, the biggest contract you hit, the biggest anything, may not come the first time you meet the person. May not. It will be repeat sales, even if you don't have one particular one that is the biggest. But every now and then, you get to sell to the person. Over a period of a year, for instance, check how much the person has paid to you, and then you realize that actually you've made good money. So relationships are important. At this moment, we'll be talking about what relates to finances. Because I've come to realize that for most Nigerians, because of the kind of place we are in, and I'm not trying to, shoot shot at anybody here. Everybody, yeah. If the money issue is resolved for most people, most issues are resolved already. I saw on someone's status recently that, don't worry, all my problems can be solved if I see a credit alert. And it is the reality. If you see a credit alert, you will probably just smile and all your problems are solved. So the truth is, for most of us, money can solve most of our problems. Money can. So that means that when you begin to make more money, or the more money you make, the lesser problems you probably have. Because money answers most things, if not all things. So you have to pay for your house rent, you have to pay for power supply, you have to pay for transportation, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for your kids' schooling, yeah. You have to pay for probably the accommodation if you're in the university. So you have to pay for literally everything. Every time you step out, all you hear is current or savings. I mean, everybody is trying to take money from you. I was joking with some lady recently, and she said current. I said it's not savings. You just say current or spending or something. In fact, it's never everything is spending. You're always spending money. So that you don't get frustrated, you need to increase your capacity to earn. You need to increase your capacity to earn. So this morning I'm talking to those who, probably you're even doing well, but you can do better. Or you are struggling and you really, really want to do better with your finances. This morning I'm talking to you. Because it was an eye-opener during the week when most people that called on the Business Around Town show. By the way, the show airs from 9:30 a.m. through to like 10:30 a.m. every weekday. Now, most people that called on the show said if they have 10 million, they won't leave the country. Meaning, all right, it is well with us. It is well with Nigeria. It is well with Nigeria. But you know one good thing about this country? One fantastic thing about this country is the population. Is that there are over 200 million people in this country. And how do people make money? Basic. You find the need people have, you meet those needs, you meet that need particularly for enough people, and then you're able to make money. So you want a millionaire, for instance, right? You want a millionaire, and you've asked yourself, how do I make a millionaire? Okay, let me sell something, and something that can give me profit of 1,000 naira on each product. To make a millionaire, you sell 1,000 of those products, and then you've made a millionaire. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I know. Maybe it's not as simple as that. But actually, it's as simple as that. So, you have a product that you can make a profit of 1,000 naira on each product, and then you sell that product to 1,000 people. 1,000 times 1,000, that is 1 million. So you've made a millionaire. So you can see now that making money is not so difficult after all. But how do you actually do it? That is what I want us to talk about this morning. Number one, find a starving crowd. There is no wisdom in you trying to sell cement to somebody that earns maybe 40,000 a month, and all he's thinking about is what to eat, where to sleep. So you go invest your money on opening a shop to start selling cement in a place where people there are still struggling to eat, and you want to start selling cement to them. That's not wise. So you have to find people that are actually in need of what you have to sell. But the better way to even do it is to be dispassionate from the product, to find what people actually need. And I know I've explained this some Sundays ago, but it's important that I break this down this particular Sunday morning so that we can all learn a thing or two, and at the end of this conversation be able to do something with the information and then increase our financial capacity. You will not beg someone who is hungry to buy food or to eat. You won't. You will not beg someone who is hungry to eat. So if someone is hungry now and you have food and you tell the person, pay 5 naira for this food, the person most likely will pay if he can afford it. Are you listening to me, somebody? You won't beg someone who has a car to buy fuel. The car won't go anywhere without fuel in it. So you see how inconveniencing it would be for people to queue up during fuel scarcity, for fuel. But people will stay night and day there because they need to buy fuel. Remember during this fuel scarcity thingy, I could not just bear going to queue at the filling station. I couldn't. Because it was stressful. But people did. As a matter of fact, people saw opportunity. Other people saw opportunity in that. They started buying and reselling fuel. So the secret to financial breakthrough, I I'm not saying you are now entirely rich and you can afford to buy anything you want, but at least you can meet your basic needs. The secret to getting that kind of money is to find what people need and give it to them. And when you deliver value, what they will give you back is not just thank you. You're not a charity home. They will give you money in their hands. They'll give you money in their hands. So you won't beg someone who has a car to buy fuel. A mechanic will never run out of business unless he has a very, 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 very bad character, as long as there are cars in this Lagos. Because there will always be issues with people's cars, and then they need a mechanic to solve the problem, to fix the car. Are you listening to me, somebody? I mean, I have an issue that I want to fix my car right now, and there are 1,000,001 people out there who, in fact, if you want to know how many cars we have in Lagos, don't bother counting. Just come out. Maybe you were out yesterday and just stand on one maybe tall building and look at the traffic. And just check out the traffic. I was in traffic for roughly 5 hours plus yesterday. To and fro. So there are needs you need to be careful and discerning enough to see and then meet those needs. Now you'll be eligible to people's money. So you need to find a starving crowd. That's number one. Look at what happened in Matthew 5 verse 1. It says, now Jesus saw the crowds. Look at how he started. Now Jesus saw the crowds. There were people already. There was a market already. A whole Jesus Christ. What did he say after? He said, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. So Jesus, first of all, saw a market for what he wants to do. He wanted to preach to them. But he needed to see the crowd first off. He saw a starving crowd. Then he went to what? A place where they could see him well enough. He sat down there. He went ahead to say, his disciples came to him, and verse 2, and then he began to teach them. So never you start a product, start selling until you've seen a starving crowd. Else you spend all your money on marketing and advertising. And am I saying that won't work? Absolutely, it will work. It will work. But you will do way better when you already have a crowd that are starving and need your product. That way, you won't need to do so much marketing and advertising to get your product sold. So Jesus did what? He went up the mountainside. But before he did that, he saw the crowd. He saw people who needed his service, people who needed his teaching, people who needed miracle. So how much more you to recognize a starving crowd? What do people need? What do people need? What do people need? So you're crying that you don't have a job, you don't have a business to do, or you don't have capital to do it, or this or that or that. Never start a thing big. Start small. Start small. No matter how grand your idea is, no matter how fantastic your business plan is, it is not going to work if you do not start it. So start it. That is when you can tell it's going to work. I've started businesses that I thought, oh, this is going to do well. I mean, there was one I spent 7 months putting things together, investing this, getting this done. By the time I started, I realized that it's not as I thought. The market I thought needed my product were not the ones that needed it. It was when I started, I realized that it was another market segmentation that needed the product. So you need to start. But before you start, identify those that need your product. This is very critical. It is extremely critical. And number 2, deliver actual value. Deliver actual value. So I've said that, yes, find a starving crowd. But then you find a starving crowd like the woman at the market who I went to buy stuff from, and then she delivered a poor service, and I never went there again. So you see that today you make enormous sales, enormous profit, and tomorrow nobody is coming to your shop to buy stuff. And you think it's probably your village people that are after you. Nobody is after you. You need to fix that problem. Deliver actual value. So deliver value in terms of your product, deliver value in terms of your service, deliver value in terms of your customer service. It is critical. Because people will forget what you do, what you say, but they would never forget how you made them feel. So when you deliver extremely fantastic value, even when your marketing is not good enough, even when you don't have a budget for advertising, even when your product is not in the best package, but the product actually solves the problem for people, they would patronize you. They will patronize you. That is the truth. That is why people would leave the highbrow areas, drive their car down to a local place where there is mama put, where there is amala and begiri and everything, and they will dip their hand into this because it is value to them. It is value to them. I was listening to Martin Obasi, in a podcast recently, and I was explaining how so many religious singers, gospel singers, just do funny stuff. I mean, I don't want to use any negative. They just do funny stuff and expect that because it is a song about God, people are going to buy it. Invest in your craft. Deliver excellent music. So you are singing and you are always going off key, and you think God is proud of that, and you think God, yeah, maybe He will bless you. I mean, that's even not in my place to say. But your own job is to deliver extreme value. Is to deliver extreme value. When you deliver value that people most likely will not get somewhere else, over and over and over again, they will come to you. And if they don't come to you every time, they come to you when they need the kind of value that you deliver. So when they need the kind of value that you deliver, they know where to go to. So when they have maybe small money or something, they say, oh no, leave that one. No. It's when we have big money, when we have good money, that we'll go there. There's an instance of a few years ago, I was going to fix a car for someone, and I went to a car shop, fantastic mechanic shop. You step into the place, it's going to blow your head, And when they were done diagnosing the car and giving me the bill, they generated an invoice. They didn't even tell me anything. They sit down, they offered me a drink and everything. I sat, I was enjoying my life. And they gave me the invoice, and it was over 500K to fix the car. And when I told the owner of the car what it cost her, the person's like, I'm not sure I can afford this. Let's just find a roadside mechanic. The same thing that these people were going to fix with over 500K, the roadside mechanic that was eventually given the car fixed it under 200. But guess what? We still went back to them. We still went back to the other place, the one that charged the high money, because they had the form of value that you couldn't get somewhere else. The book of Matthew, chapter number 5, and going down to verse 13 says, you are salt. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except it's thrown out, trampled underfoot. So you are salt. Do not lose your saltiness. Do not lose your value. People will throw you out, trample on you when you do not have value. So you go to market to buy salt, any brand, you take it home, you taste it, and it doesn't taste like what you wanted. You're going to throw it out. You're going to rake. Are you listening to me, somebody? So deliver actual value. Deliver actual value. Do your best to get your product to solve actual problems. If you have to find a segment of the bigger problem to solve. One of the callers on that show I referred to said that, he started laundry business maybe last year, and then he's been doing very well. And then you look around you and realize that everybody is doing laundry business. You can't afford to, get into that competition. But there's a segment of that laundry business you can get into. So if everybody is doing laundry business, it means that there is a market for you to sell laundry equipment, right? There's a market for you to become a laundry equipment engineer. There's a market for you to sell, or even at the customer level, which is B2C. So even just pick one aspect. There's a company that does laundry for only beddings, duvets, bed sheets, and things like that. And that's what they do exclusively. They don't do your normal clothes. They don't do anything else. So you can find a segment and deliver enormous value. We don't have much time this morning. I want us to move fast and far. Number 3, positioning. Position yourself properly. Position yourself properly. Remember what we read in the first verse of this chapter, Matthew 5. It says, when Jesus saw the crowd, meaning he saw a starving audience, the Bible says he went up on a mountainside. So Jesus had to position himself. He had to go to a place where people will see him, who will hear him properly. He didn't say, Shebi, I'm the Son of God. Let me stay anywhere. If they like, they should hear. If they like, they should not hear. My Father has sent me, I've delivered them. And that's what a lot of people do. They just do this stuff anyhow. You need to be particular about your positioning. You need to be particular about your positioning. So Jesus had to go on the mountainside. There's a reason he went that. He was obeying a principle. He was obeying a principle. So you are selling engine oil, for instance, and then you go to a place where nobody has a car to sell your engine oil. And you open a very big store there. Ikechukwu and Sons Engine Oil Company. And then 1 year down the line, you are crying that nobody is buying from you, and you're on the verge of closing down this very big store that you opened. Whereas Chinedu, who just has a small table where he arranges his engine oil, goes to a filling station and positions beside the filling station, knowing that every day cars come and go in from this filling station. If they need engine oils, they can buy from me. I mean, even filling stations now sell engine oil. So positioning is extremely critical. It's extremely critical. You have to be at the right place. Your location is as critical to your business as the product itself. Because you can have a fantastic product and you're in a place where people can't find it easy buying your product. Positioning. Are you listening to me? Jesus had to go to the mountainside. In fact, let's go to the 14th verse of that passage. It says, you are light, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds. Did you hear that? Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds. So you have to be positioned at the right place, where people would easily see you, and then where your product and services will be appreciated. And how do people appreciate you for a job well done? They give you money. They give you something. Money is the most basic means of exchange. So you deliver value, and people want to deliver value to you for the great value you've delivered to them, but they can't give you exactly what you just given to them, so they give you money. They give you money. So you can see now that maybe the reason you don't have enough money to solve your primary problems, remember that those I'm talking to this morning are people who need to solve their basic problems. You need enough money to put food on your table, to put the clothes on your back, and to put a roof over your head, to, basic stuff. Basic stuff. So positioning. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, had to go on a mountain to sit down, to be able to minister to the people that were coming to him. So you too have to find that place where when you put your tent here, when you put your product here, when you build your company here, when you sell your stuff here, or when you have your service rendered here, people will easily come to you. People will easily come to you. Number 4, build relationships. Build relationships. When you start out, the first set of people that will patronize you most likely will be those that already know you. With those that already know you. And it's even a good way to test if your product is useful, is needed. Because if your friends and your family and people around you do not consider your product useful enough for them to pay for, then those that are not close to you, those that don't know you, may not be able to give you their money. So you approach a friend and you say, this is the product I have. Take this product and pay me X naira of money. And then the person says, I'm not sure I want to buy this book. It means that you don't have, it's either that person is not your market audience, or you don't have a product yet. That's what it implies. Are you getting me, somebody? So you need to build relationships. Think long term. So when you meet someone, you're not immediately trying to, let me sell to him and make his money, make money from him immediately. Yes, you're going to make money from him, but the biggest money you make from him most likely will not come after the first sale. Will not come from that first sale. It will come from after the first sale, the second or third or fourth. Or even if you don't have the biggest sale, the more you sell to the person, the more money you are making from the person. I'm assuming that you're selling at a profit. You're not selling at a loss, of course. So build relationships. Build relationships. Let's go back to that verse. The first verse, right, of Matthew 5. He says, Jesus saw the crowd. He went up the mountain and sat down. His disciples came to him, meaning the guys that were closest to him came to him first. So even though they've always heard him talk, they know his value, they know who he is, but they still came to him, meaning they needed his product. They needed what he had to say. Are you listening to me, somebody? So his disciples came to him. So you must be intentional about building relationships, even with your customers. People buy stuff from you and then they grow from just being your customer, your clients, to becoming acquaintances and becoming friends, such that they begin to even market you to other people. There are some people who have not bought products from them in a while because I don't need it at the moment. But each time I hear someone that needs that product, I tell the person about them. There's a guy I'm about to give something to. I want to sew a cloth and I'm about to use him for the first time. But I've never seen this guy. I don't know him. He stays far away in Ikorodu. But I saw a nice cloth that he made for a colleague of mine. I said, how did you get this? He said, so and so made it. I said, good. Share his contact. And then he shared his contact and I contacted him and we're about to do business. And if he does well, if he does exactly what he says he will do, he's got a new customer. Because I'm going to give him another one and another one. And that is how you grow in your business. This thing is not rocket science. But it is so simple a principle that a lot of people overlook it. So build relationships. Build it. But you cannot build relationships if you don't have character. So character is extremely important to this equation of business. Because everything is mental. Everything is psychological. So you have to make people feel good. You have to help them feel good. Are you listening to me, somebody? Are you listening to me and jotting things down? Number 5, persistence. I think I'm going to end on this number 5 note because I want us to have a conversation. I want to take your course this morning because you realize that why do people hear this much? Because there's when a world right now that is overloaded with information, everybody is telling you what to do, but you're not seeing results. Why? So if you're that person who you've tried many things, or you've been hearing so many things, you've listened to seminars, you even have mentors or coaches, or you've read books, you've tried things and things are not working out, I want you to call me up this morning. And when it's time to call, the number to call is 081 644 25875. Number 5, persistence. Persistence. Let's go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter number 11. Because there's a strong principle on persistence in this book of Luke. Jesus was teaching a parable, was teaching and he shared a parable. Luke chapter number 11 from verse 8. Or let me backtrack a bit. Let's go to verse 5. And he says, then teaching them more about prayer, he used this story. Suppose you went to a friend's house at midnight, wanting to borrow 3 loaves of bread. You say to him, a friend of mine has just arrived for a visit, and I have nothing for him to eat. And suppose he calls out from his bedroom, don't bother me. The door is locked from the night, and my family and I are all in bed. I can't help you. Then listen to what Jesus said. He said, verse 8 now. But I tell you this, though he won't do it for friendship's sake. Listen to that again. Though he won't do it for friendship's sake. He says, if you keep knocking long enough, he will get up and give you whatever you need because of your shameless persistence. Let me take that verse again. Verse 8. But I tell you this, though he won't give it to you, though he won't do it for friendship's sake. That is even when you're asking a friend. If you keep knocking long enough, if you keep knocking long enough, he will give up, he will get up and give you whatever you need because of your shameless persistence. What are you shamelessly persistent about today? What is that one thing that you are all out about, ensuring that people know about? You see people who have products they are selling and nobody on your WhatsApp status has ever seen your product. Nobody on your Instagram page has ever seen your product. Nobody on your TikTok channel, even though every day you're always recording dancing videos on TikTok, enjoying your life. But nobody knows what you sell. So you have to be shameless about what you sell. Because if you are hungry, nobody will come and give you food. Though. It is your hunger. So you need to be shameless about it. But shamelessness is not even the key word I want us to note today. It is the persistence. It is the persistence. Because that verse 9 says, if you keep knocking long enough, verse 8, if you keep knocking long enough, he will get up and give you whatsoever you need. So don't say because you've asked someone to buy something for the first time and he says, no, I don't want, or no, I don't need it, or no, I'm not buying. And then you keep quiet. Yoruba people will say, Toba dake, tareabe dake. So you gotta keep talking about it. You gotta keep persisting, asking them to buy. So you've obeyed the principles, right? You've found the starving crowd. You've delivered fantastic product. You are positioned in the right place. You have built relationships, but they are still not buying. You need to keep telling them. You need to keep telling them. Statistics say that 80% of sales require that you do at least 5 or more follow-ups. So it means 80% of sales records are being made after the 5th call. After the 5th call. So you have something you want to sell. You reach out to someone, a prospective buyer, and then you say, buy this thing in whichever way you say it. And he says, oh, I'm not buying. And then you see the second time, he says, I'm not buying, leave me alone now. And you're like, man, no, embarrass myself. Let me keep quiet. Okay? Do not keep quiet. Because if you shamelessly continue preaching the gospel of that thing you want to sell, one day that person will wake up and say, I want to buy. So you need to be shameless about it. You need to be shameless about it. Because the scripture has shown you a sample here. It says if you keep knocking long enough, he's going to get up and give you whatever you want. So if you keep asking enough, why do you think big businesses invest in email marketing? Why do you think they have millions of dollars put aside for social media marketing? Why do you think the big telecommunication companies we have in this country, Though everybody has well, maybe not everybody, but most people have phones already. They have their networks already. But you still hear them do adverts every now and then. There's no way you tune to a radio station or a TV station or online or YouTube or something, and that you will not hear one particular telecommunication company, making noise about their brand. They are always making noise. Why? Because you have to be persistently and shamelessly selling your market. So if the big brands that already have the billions of naira are doing that, how much more you? So you don't have the budget for marketing. Yes, I know. But those around you, do they all know? Everybody in your house where you live, everybody on your street, everybody in your church, everybody in your mosque, everybody at your place, do they know what you sell? I remember there was a time I was going to experiment a product. I stumbled on an idea. I was like, this sounds good. Let me try it out. And what did I do? I told everybody that was my colleague at the time. And I wasn't working here at the time. And everyone was my customer. That was a way for me to know that this thing that you think is fantastic is actually fantastic because people want to buy. So they paid money. They paid. They didn't say, oh, because he's our colleague, he's going to give us free of charge. No, they paid for it. And then I moved on to the other people. So you need to be persistent about it. 80% of sales happens after the 5th call. But it is sad that only 44% of people try more than once. 44% of people give up after the first time. So are you part of that statistics of people who you've tried to sell something and then the person said he's not buying and you just... I like my Igbo brothers. I love my Igbo brothers. You go to them, you say, they just see and say, oh, do you want to buy this? And you say no. They won't just leave you. They'll ask about the next one. They'll keep on pursuing you until you probably change your mind to follow them and say, yeah, bring Siam. And it's happened to me before. I wanted to buy stuff. I didn't have a particular person I was going to buy it from. I just went to the market and I eventually bought from the guy who was persistent. The guy would not just leave me alone. This guy did not have a shop. Interestingly, but I bought from him. But he made profit from me that day. Why? Because he was persistent. Because he didn't listen to my no. I know how to strong face. The guy did not even send me. He kept on following me until he sold. So probably the reason you are not making money yet to meet your basic needs is because you are ashamed. And who shame help? You are ashamed in your house. You have not eaten or you don't even have anything to eat. And you are ashamed. Maybe you're supposed to carry your market for a head and be pushing it around. You have to be all out. All out. There is nothing shame will do to you. As a matter of truth, feeling shame when it comes to selling your product is not a function of the product itself. It's a function of you having low self-esteem. Because you're supposed to be proud of what you are doing. Because there is dignity in labor. You are not going about stealing. You're not going about begging. You're going about delivering value to people in exchange for their money. So why are you ashamed? Why are you ashamed? Nobody's going to start from the top. I always say this. Nobody is going to start from the top. Everyone starts from the bottom and you work your way to the top. So if you want to do double promotion, you want to skip the bottom, you want to go to the middle or go to the top, you're going to come back to that bottom because you were living a fake life. Are you listening to me this morning? So be shameless about it. Carry your market on your head. Carry your market on your head. And sell. So if you do not get anything from the over 30 minutes I've been talking this morning, get this. Be shamelessly persistent about what you have to sell. Be shamelessly persistent about what you have to sell. Even when it is not working. Remember, 80% of sales are made after the 5th call. So you keep on trying and then trying and then trying and trying and trying until you eventually sell. And God will help you in Jesus' name. And for those who have been trying to call, please, you can now call if you want to. I've not been answering your calls because I had to, bring the conversation to a halt. The number to call if you want to be part of this conversation, especially for you who feels I have nothing to sell, or I don't have a starving audience around me, or I've been selling and it's not working. Now let's talk this morning. Number to call is 081 644 25875. 081 644 25875. Or if you want to send a WhatsApp message, go ahead and send it to 0700, I beg your pardon, 0700 903 903 903. That's the WhatsApp number to send your WhatsApp message to this very Sunday morning. Welcome to the show. It's Sunday Praise Show. What's your name and your location?
Good morning.
Good
My
morning
name is
to you.
Sunday. I'm calling you from Mafaluku, Oshodi.
Sunday, welcome to the Sunday Praise Show. So this show is about you. Thank you for
Thank
calling.
you
Go
so
ahead,
much.
please.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to appreciate you for your programs. Every Sunday, I will always tune in, and it's always a blessing listening to you and the songs you play.
Mm.
I most times enjoy the songs and the messages you pass to us. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Glory to God.
Okay, so I'm a kind of person that loves business, and I work, but I also do small things.
Okay.
So I just want to. I've been trying to create audience on Instagram. I said,
Oh no, we lost Sunday. Sunday, please do well to call back. I need to really hear what you have to say. Do well to call me back. The number to call this morning is 081 644 25875. 081 644 25875. Please, if you can, read the whole of this chapter. That's Matthew chapter 5 from verse 1 to the end. This chapter is loaded with wisdom that can help you turn your life around, whether in your business, in your character, in your spiritual journey, in your marriage. It's so loaded. But that first verse exemplifies what we are teaching on this morning. Jesus saw the crowd, the starving crowd. He went up the mountainside, positioning. He sat down. His disciples came to him, relationships, and he began to teach them selling. Those are principles that you need to deploy to get the problem solved. Number to call is 081 644 25875. 081 644 25875. That's the number to call this very Sunday morning. So do not ever shortchange yourself by being ashamed of your trade, of your market, of your anything. Do not. Do not. If you do not do it, nobody will do it for you. Nobody. Nobody will do it for you. The 13th verse of that passage says, you are light. I mean, you're the salt of the world. The 14th verse says, you are light. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. So don't hide yourself. And I hope we're not having a technical issue, a connection issue this morning, because I'm still expecting Sunday's call. So Sunday said he works and he's been trying to do something on the side, if I'm correct, and he's been trying to build an audience on Instagram, and probably it's not working, I'm guessing. See, Sunday, I need you to understand that the online world is just as similar to the offline world. People behave the way they behave in this normal, natural world is the same way they behave online. People won't just come to you because you have a fantastic product. They most likely won't just. There are things you must do. In fact, you must be the one to go to them. So after having your fantastic social media strategy, which I think you should actually put in place, ensure that that strategy includes you finding pages where your audience already reside and being an active part of that community. an active part of that community. When you deliver value consistently, at no cost on other people's communities, on other people's pages, one person will see what you've said, will check you out. If you have value on your own page, they'll stay there. And that is how you begin to grow your audience gradually. Another way is to find someone who knows about audience targeting, especially on social media, and then run some ad campaigns, no matter how little. I know, I have a friend who is a farmer who he makes his most sale on Facebook. What does he do? He spends $1, just $1 a day to advertise his product. And then he gets a customer every day to buy from him. Every day. Just $1. $1 is like 700 plus now, right? So he spends about 700 plus every day, which you can literally waste. Because you spend way more than that every day. So he commits that to marketing to the right audience. Remember, I said someone who knows about audience targeting. Because you can't just be advertising to everybody. You'll be wasting your money. Those that don't need your product to be those seeing it. So you have to ensure that those that see your product are those that are interested in buying the product. And that way, you'll be able to sell to them. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and your location, please.
I'm Emmanuel, calling from Mafuluku.
All right, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yes, it's just that I'm into this business, this shoe production, where they build security shoes and all these shoes accessories.
Mm-hmm.
But up to now, I've not gotten a way in which I can build my business to be more bigger than I think. And I'm looking for a way. Maybe you can advise me in a way where I can invest on my business where it will grow big more than I expect. Maybe by going into sites or.
All right, Emmanuel. Thank you very much for calling. Please just keep listening. See, remember I said that positioning is extremely important. And you just answered your question by yourself. So you say you build or you make custom-made shoes, right? Maybe security shoes or something like that. And you also just said that maybe you go to sites. See, you can't be selling that kind of product in a place where people don't need it. So if you know where people need what you are selling is a new site, then position yourself there. Go there to sell to them. Has anyone ever bought from you? If your answer is yes, now get that person and profile that person. You need to define your audience. Who exactly is my target audience? Because if you don't know who you are trying to sell to, you will not recognize the person when you see the person. So where does the person, what kind of work does he do? How much does he earn? You have to find out all those information. The first step to success is knowledge acquisition. So you have a fantastic product already, Emmanuel. You have to learn about your customer and be able to sell. Remember I said to you, the first thing I even said is a starving crowd. Never you sell a product that nobody is willing to buy. So if you have a product and nobody is buying from you, it's either that product is not needed or that product is extremely needed, but you are selling it to the wrong people. So you either go find a product that people around you actually need, or you go find people that need your product. And the former is the most reasonable one, is the more reasonable one. Sell a product that has a market already. I said to you, most of the people that are really wealthy around that we all see, do you think they are all passionate about what they are selling? I don't think so. But they recognize the need and they meet it. It doesn't matter if you are passionate about it. You'd rather be passionate and you don't make money, or you are not passionate and you are making a lot of money. So you sell shoes and nobody's buying it from you yet. Because I don't think nobody will want to buy from you. So you sell shoes and nobody's buying from you yet. Yet there are things around you that you can sell to those that are willing to buy already, that have the capacity to buy, because there's a difference between willingness to buy. People go into the business because someone says, oh, you want to do this and I'll buy from you. The fact that he wants to buy doesn't mean he will buy. There's a difference between the willingness to buy and the capacity to buy. So find those who have the capacity to buy your product and sell to them. And I hope that answers your question, Emmanuel. And God will help you in Jesus' name. God will open your eyes to recognize opportunities and lead you to where your customers are, those that really, really will buy from you. All right? So that's it.